Hi everybody, welcome to Dynamo Sword Channel. I'm David, and today on Dynamo Sword Channel I will be reviewing the Windlass Classic Hoplite Sword. Now this is my first ancient style sword, and one that has been featured in Windlass's catalog for many years. So how does the sword fare against other ancient weapons, or specifically Grecian style swords on the market? Well, today we'll take a look and we'll find out. The Windlass Classic Hoplite Sword is based on the famous Xiphos of ancient Greece. Initially made of bronze, then later iron or steel, the Xiphos was the standard Grecian soldier's sidearm from as early as 500 BC. This sword takes its name from the hoplite, the primary soldier or infantryman of ancient Greece. The sword was designed to be used more prominently as a secondary weapon to the spear, which was the primary weapon of the hoplite soldier. Short, with a unique broadening leaf-bladed shape, the Xiphos was deadly in both the cut and the thrust due to this unique blade profile. Its short size made it much more efficient in the phalanx or shield formations of the ancient Greek military. As such, close-quarter fighting allowed the sword to be thrust around or in openings of the shield wall when two opposing phalanx clashed together. Its hilt was more simple, as many of the earlier bronze examples show the hilt to be one piece with the blade, with grips being made of wood or bone. In later examples, the whole hilt could be wooden, featuring metal plating at the guard and pommel cap, or it could feature a separate metal guard and pommel as seen on this model. Overall, the Xiphos, or specifically the leaf blade type, seems to have been a prominent weapon of the ancient world, as its shape and style was used by peoples of the various regions of Europe, from the Celts to even the early Romans. This was the sword that influenced the prominence of double-edged blades that would evolve through the centuries in Europe, from the Roman gladius and spatha to the arming swords of the migration era up to the Middle Ages. All can be traced back to their predecessor, the leaf blade, or Xiphos, and its significance in the ancient world. Now let's look at the overall statistics of the sword. So the overall length is 28 inches. It has a weight of 2¼ pounds with a point of balance right at 2½ inches from the hilt. The center percussion is about 13½ inches, so right where the blade leaves. And again, this blade would classify as a ancient Greek Xiphos. The blade's length is 21¾ inches long. It has a base width of 2⅛ inch, and the blade has more of a wasted shape here, and at that midsection it sits at about 1 7/8 of an inch, and then that broadens up to the leaf 2¼ and then here it tapers down from the tip, and right here before the tip it is at 1¾ inch. So the material is a 1065 high carbon steel, and it does feature a mirrored finish. The cross section is a flattened diamond, and again the type of blade would be a more ancient leaf blade, or more specifically Greek Xiphos blade type. The guard's width is 4 inches. The guard dimensions are 1 5/8 inch at the face, and then the inside face is about 1/2 inch and has a slight taper to it. The material, like the blade, is a polished steel, and the style, there isn't really a type for the style. I guess you could say it's a Xiphos style. But yeah, it's just kind of more your basic rudimentary squared guard style. The handle's total length is 4 inches. The circumference at the guard is 3 3/4, and then that swells to 4 inches at the midsection, and then tapers down to about 3 5/8 inch at the pommel. The handle material is a nice hard wood, and the original grip material was a fat leather stripping that was wrapped around the grip. I wasn't really a fan of that. It did feel cheap and uncomfortable. So what I did is in a more medieval style, I guess you could say, I did a full wrap of deer skin with risers to kind of add to the grip and just the overall comfort and function of the sword. The pommel's length is 1 5/8 inch with a total circumference of 4 3/4 inches at its fattest point here up top. The material, like the guard, is a polished steel, and the hilt construction is actually a screw pommel, but it is epoxied, as it does not actually screw off. I've tried. The pommel type, again, isn't really classified and is more just the common Xiphos cylinder style that you would see on Xiphos of the period. And finally, we'll have a look at the scabbard. The scabbard is wood core with a stitched dark brown leather overwrap. It's accented by brass studs down its face with a brass collar featuring 2 metal rings to carry the blade with a baldric or belt suspension system. The chape is also brass to match the overall aesthetic of this sword. The scabbard is well built and fits the sword well. There is a little bit of rattle when the blades end, but not much, and the mouth holds the blade nice and tight with a friction fit where it slides out a little, but due to the leaf shape of it, it kind of holds the blade in. So not bad, but still quite good for a windlass scabbard. In conclusion, I was really impressed by this sword. Its overall short and broad design allows for a light and maneuverable sword that is well balanced and quick in the cut and thrust. The blade profile is elegant and deadly with its broad leaf shape, allowing for ample cutting surface and also offering that long, acute point for deadly thrusting capability. The grip is nicely shaped and swells at the midsection for a nice, comfortable grip. The leather stripping, though, as I mentioned earlier, was a little uncomfortable to me, and as such I replaced it with the leather and risers. This does, I feel, add both to the aesthetic and function of the grip. The guard is short and rectangular in shape and is moderately comfortable in hand. It's not sharp, and it has a nice beveled edge. The pommel's cylinder shape is comfortable as well, and does actually, if you want to, allow a two-handed grip to be on the sword if one actually desired. Honestly, regarding form and function, I feel this sword would be an awesome sidearm for any warrior of any period. Its compact size makes it both easy to carry and use, and its more modern construction and look makes it a good option as a fantasy short sword as well. When looking at this sword, I can definitely see the inspiration the leaf blade or ancient leaf blade had on swords of fantasy, like Sting or Glamdring from the Lord of the Rings. Overall, the Classic Hoplite is indeed a classic design that's form and function make it an excellent sword to own and use. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Windlass Classic Hoplite Sword. Be sure to like and subscribe, as well as look forward to seeing the cut and review with follow-up discussion that we'll be releasing soon. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.